Okay guys, so this month has actually been very smooth. Right, this month has actually been very smooth. So we've just been hitting the market back to back. It has actually been very smooth. Now if you check our previous video, our most recent video, you should actually notice that we're able to storm into NFP also, and NFP was actually very great. And just immediately after the NFP, I also dropped the trade in private channel to just prevent the risk of going into NFP and all of those. But so far so good. The month has been very clean. So let's just do something now. Let's just quickly check out the entire month and see what we've been having, right? Because it has been very smooth, right? So let's just see now. Okay, let's just see what you're having. So if you check out now, if we should start from, let's say, the month of September, yeah, you should actually just see it because we're looking at the month of September. This was actually just the 1st of September. You can see that we just zoomed off this particular trade and we held it for 2 days straight. Which is pretty nice. You can see just actually stated that everyone should zoom up that trade, right? Let's actually look for the very beginning of this trade, right? So this particular trade, I guess, yeah, we started from here. It was actually a range trade, right? We started it from here. It was actually a range trade on our XAUUSD, right? So the initial trade is what we gave before, and somehow it went out. So we just had to give a range trade instantly, and after which it just pushed up really nicely, recovered, and everything just started moving perfectly from there. In August, right? And so we kept holding the trade through to September. Look at the trade here. So you can just see the trade here. That was it. Okay, so if you check out now on our free channel here, I actually gave the analysis. You can just see the analysis I gave it in our free channel, right? So this is actually just the analysis of the trade. We're having a build-up of structure here, after which the market just pushed up towards our zone where we're having a crazy support region here, right? After which it had to take off from this support region towards the top, just like this. You see that, right? And then it started creating a lot of rejection candlesticks here around this region here. But that actually made an entire chart drop down and then pushed back towards the top again, creating this maximum region just around the spot here, right? Good. Now from this zone, what did we notice? We noticed that the chart pushed up and then it started creating another build-up of structure before dropping back down towards the bottom. So what are we expecting now from around the zone? We're expecting a massive breakout from this region, which already occurred. But now we are not just expecting that, we're also expecting a drop towards this region. This is what I'm talking about. It pushes up, it can also drop back down, crash towards the bottom, tap on a zone here, and from here we can expect it to push back towards the top smoothly like that, just take off again towards the top just like that, right? Good. So that's just what we're expecting on our chart, right? That's just what we're expecting. So for the meantime, and then after that, what did we notice? We dropped the trade in mid-last. It got completed on our re-entry, right? And then that was it. We had first and second take profit hit there, and yeah, we also had our take profit we hit, right? And we kept holding the trade onto our region here. You can just see all of these massive movements that occurred go trade, right? So that was actually very massive. You can just see that, right? Looking very nice like this. You can just see this movement. The movement was actually very massive. It was actually massive. So this was exactly how we stormed into the month of September, and we shut down our trades on the 1st of September here, right? So we held this trade for like 2 days or something straight up, or while it started moving. And so I just stated that everyone should shut down their trades. You can just see the massive profit that we actually made from this stuff. A pretty chill trade. Now if we check it out on a trading view now, this is what we are having. Right, so we started the trade from just around this region, and then it tapped on a stop loss just around the zone. From there, what did we notice? We noticed that our charts just broke above our region here, so we had to go for a range trade immediately as we saw a bullish engulfing candlestick there. You can just see that, right? And after, what did you notice? A push towards the top, just started pushing towards the top, just like that. It was actually very clean. We're looking at a stop loss around this zone now, and then it just took off nicely towards the top. You can just see that. It was actually smooth, tapped on a zone here, broke above this region here. Okay, let me just map this stuff out. You can see this, right? So it just broke above our zone here towards the top like that before I notified everyone to exit this trade, right? So if we try calculating for all of our pips now, so you try calculating that and then you write that in the comment section what you're able to calculate from this zone through to this zone, right? That was our entire movement, right? So you can calculate the amount of pips and then you write that in our comment section, right? So let's check out for after 2nd of September. Okay, on 2nd of September, we actually dropped another trade, right? We dropped another trade, yeah. Now, this was actually the trade, right? But then let me quickly show you the analysis again. Let me quickly show you the analysis because we dropped this stuff right here in our free channel, right? So these are all the trades before the last trades I went into, and then I actually stated everyone should leave. This stuff was shared in the free channel also. So this is actually the next analysis that we had here. I dropped this stuff also in our free channel on our XAUUSD, right? So you can just see that there. So what are we having here? We can literally see that if we check out our chart, we can see the zone it took off from, and then it started pushing towards the top on our zone here. Dropped again, of course, to give us a slight build up of structure. We map this out, we can see that it's pushing towards the top already, right? Nice. So if we look at this zone again, we should see that a candlestick actually created a form of support zone again to push the chart towards the top, right? So if you merge these two, you can see the upward movements that it finally gave after that. You can just see that. And so what did we notice again? You can see this arrow pointing towards a build up of structure again, just around our spot here. And from around that region here, what did we notice? We noticed that the chart can crash towards our zone, after which can push towards the top. That becomes our main analysis, right? Because we can see that the chart is actually playing around this region, right? You can just see that playing around this region here. And from here, we can just expect anything to happen, right? So if you check out our what you claim major support here again, if it drops below the zone, then it's coming to tap here, after which pushes towards the top again. So either way, we should be expecting a massive push towards the top, nicely like that, right? So it's actually chilled. It's actually chilled. So if we check out the results after this formation was completed, it was dropped in the private channel, of course. After this formation was completed, this is what we had, right? First take profit hit just around this region here, right? First take profit was hit. You can just see that, right? Push towards the top nicely to tap on our first take profit. And yeah, first and second take profits we now hit, push towards the top really smoothly, right? It was actually nice. You can literally see this formation that broke and boom, tapped on our second take profit. That was actually a very impressive formation. The next day we're still holding the trade for a third take profit to get smashed also. You can just see that, right? So everything was actually smashed really nicely. And if you check this out again, you can just see, well, we're still holding the trade, right? And then this was a profit that was running, right? Just looking very clean, right? So this is just like the update for September. It's actually been very smooth, right? So this just it. Immediately as a formation got completed, we stormed into our trade just from our region here, as you can see, right? Now it broke out from our zone here. It pushed towards the top, right? Just pushed towards the top really nicely from around our zone here, our normal support zone where we had a lot of rejection candlesticks there, right? It broke out nicely from here, and then it started giving us a constellation of candlesticks here, right? Bullish candlesticks to begin with. So from there, we're able to storm into our trades, and then we just kept holding this trade until it created a form of what a sub-trend again just around our region, creating a triangular formation. So we already know what happens on triangular formation, right? Good. So from there, what did you notice now? If you check out this stuff, you notice that we would have gone into this trade just from this region, from all these are zones, just around our zones here, right? So if you check this stuff out now, you can calculate the pips for this also, and you can write that in the comment section. So let's see. So you calculate this from where we entered the trade and from when we left the trade, right? So we held this for a few days also, and it was very nice. Very nice, actually. Very nice. Okay, so for our next trade now, this was actually NFP. This was on a Friday, right? So I gave the NFP trade, after which I dropped this stuff here also because I dropped the formation. Let me show you the formation. So this was the formation for NFP. Let's just quickly scroll down. Right, now the video for NFP, actually I dropped it also. You would have seen that video, right? It was just our most recent video, just a few seconds, over 10k. Good. Now that's 1530. Boom. You can see that. You can see that massive movement. Boom. We're over 100k of equity. Over 100k. Over 100k. You can see that movement, right? So this is actually very chilled. These are actually very, very chilled. But then these are all the stops here. Dropped all of these things, right? After our first take profit was hit, I actually shared this trade here in our free channel. This is actually our free channel, yeah. Right, this is the free channel, and then these actually the analysis for what they call it now for the first Friday, right? So you can just see up next, and this is actually just the entire analysis for that Friday. You can see it September 5th, right? September 5th. So basically looking at analysis, right, you can just see that the chart was actually just heading towards the top after hitting our main region here, just around our main region here, right? Started pushing towards the top. You can just see that. Tapped on a zone around the spot. We had a major rejection here, and now we're expecting a push towards the top again, right? So it's actually just pretty slick because you can see our internal playing around the spot. From here, it pushed up towards our next region here, towards our next region where we had crazy candlesticks there, right? You can just see this, right? Got rejected. So we're expecting this region here itself, this region here to be very solid. We're not expecting any breakout from around our region here because it's very solid. And from here also we're expecting a nice support again. So even if this candlestick drops and crashes towards the zone, we're expecting these are nice supports to balance it. Even if that before hitting that level, we're also expecting an internal here to balance it up. So what are we seeing now from our zone? We are expecting that our chart can push above this region here, and from here it can just start flying towards the top nicely, or it can drop down, and after which we're expecting a push towards the top, but then we are not expecting to cross below this region here where we had a major rejection candlestick. We are not expecting that, at least, right? Okay. So basically, this is just an entire analysis, right, for the Friday, which was actually an NFP. Went into the NFP, after which I dropped the trade here on the private channel. That's just to prevent risks that comes with news event and all of those, right? So the trade was dropped there, after which, boom, we noticed on the Monday, the chart started pushing up really nicely. You can see this impressive movement. This was actually just very smooth. This was just very smooth. You can just see all of those movements. This was actually very smooth. And then you can just see when our take profit 2 was actually smashed, because this was a TP1, right? TP1 there. So this was actually a fresh highs. And so this was when our TP2 was now smashed. Also just pushed up really, really smoothly like that, right? So this was what we were having. You can just see our 56k. So it's what we're running, right? Now, this was after NFP of Friday. This was now a Monday, things like that. But then we just kept holding the trade, TP1 and 2. Now, all our 3 take profits were hit. We're still holding the trade. All our 3 take profits. You can just see the massive movement here that happened on our chart, right? You can just see the massive movement. Kept holding the trade through to the next day. Right, so this was now like a day 2 hold, and then you can still see the movement still pushing up towards the top. See, just pushing up aggressively towards the top, right? Now, if we should check out everything here on analysis, you should notice this was the NFP, right? If you check this stuff out, this was actually what we caught on our last video. If you've not watched it, you can check it out, right? So we caught all of this stuff, and then we waited for a nice rejection, for some nice rejection candlesticks to get created here, after which we just joined the trade from around our region. We're expecting it to push up like this, but unfortunately it crashed on us towards this zone here first, and we're expecting to now push up towards the top, but unfortunately it started crashing again on us, right, creating just a bullish flag formation, after which, boom, it just shot up towards the top from around our region here. You can just see that. So that was actually clean. You can just notice the massive push towards the top after that, and of course we just had to leave the trade, right? So if you map out this now, and then you map it down from here through to where we enter the trade, also just calculate the amount of pips here, calculate the amount of pips, and also write it in the comment section, right? Calculate the amount of pips and write this in the comment section, right? So let's see now. Okay, so for our next trade, we're supposed to have CPI this day, right? So we're supposed to have CPI, and then I went into the CPI trade after the analysis, right? But then this is the analysis. I went into the CPI trade, After which, that stuff, I think we didn't really do a full record, but then I have some screen record. I will add it maybe around, just around, so you can actually check it out, right? I'll just add it around so you can actually check it out. But then this is what we're having for our next analysis here, right? This was actually what we're having just before our CPI occurred the next day. This was on the 10th of September. CPI occurred on the 11th of September, right? So you can see the analysis hit a level, push towards the top around that zone here, right? And then before that, we had a constellation here telling us that this is actually a massive level of support there. We can also see another at the top, right, just around our region here, telling us that this chart anyhow should push towards the top. You can just see this, right? Nice formation just around that spot, giving us an X formation there. And so anyhow, we're expecting even our internal resistance here can support our chart to push towards the top smoothly, just like that. So what are you having now? This is the only resistance that can prevent our chart or that can delay our movement. But our CPI should help this movement to take off from this zone, right? So when CPI helps us, it might drop towards the bottom first and push towards the top. But anyhow, our CPI should help us leave this level entirely, this entire level. After leaving this level, from there, we can then drop the trade and everyone should just start cashing out. Okay, so this was when the formation was completed. Drop the trade around the zone. It had already helped us to break it. You can see our take profit one was smashed just around the zone. Yeah, TP1 was smashed. CPI already helped us to break out from the zone. And then this was when our TP2 was smashed. TP1 and 2 now fully back there. And this was what we're having, right? So technically, you can just see this movement was actually extremely massive. Also, you can just see that very, very massive movement. And then this was when all our take profits were actually smashed, and we're still taking off into fresh highs. You can see where it broke out from this. Our crazy resistance that occurred here, broke out completely, started pushing up towards the top like that again, right? So we just kept holding the trade until we had to leave this trade this very Friday now, right, that just passed. We had to zoom off the trade, right? We held this trade for 2 days straight, and then we had to just zoom off the trade. So if we check it out now again, just after CPI, you notice CPI helped us to leave this level after we stormed in from around our range, zero retracement. It was a sniper entry. Now our support region here helped us because this created a triangular formation again, which just helped us to push towards the top smoothly like that. And then it kept playing around this region because we're expecting it to push towards the top, but it wasn't. So it just had to leave from around the zone. So when it hit our top zone again here, I just had to tell everyone to zoom off. So if you should calculate the amount of pips now from this zone through to this zone, you can just calculate this and also write this in the comment section, right? You can also just calculate this and write this in the comment section. Let's see what's there also, right? So it's actually been very smooth, guys. It has actually been just very smooth. So if you see the stuff, this was actually on the free also, it was shared there. You can see that also was actually shared here. So guys, this is just it. Now remember, while calculating the number of pips, remember that 1 pip movement on gold is actually equal to 0.01, right? So when you're calculating it, just calculate it in that format, 0.01. So you calculate it yourself and then you write the amount of pips in the comment section. Don't forget that. And if you also notice, most of this trade, just after hitting the first take profit or second take profit, it was shared in the free channel also, so that every single person can cash out. So those in the private channel, of course, they'll be in much profit, but those in the free channel, they also get to cash out from the market, because some of these trades we held them for like 48 hours, some we held for like 72 hours straight up. If you are not in the free channel, you can simply just check the link in the description box there to just join the free channels complete for free. Also, if you are new to this YouTube channel, just remember to hit on subscription button, hit on like button, and also remember to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos I'll be dropping out from this place. So bye for me, guys. I'm Mr. P.